awesome. Thank you. Can we please bring up Brian Shui and Kevin Zhu? Please raise your blue hand. Although I guess most of you guys know how the countdown round works, but it doesn't hurt to go over the rules again. You must not have a calculator during the countdown round. You must stay unmuted. If you mute yourselves during any part of the round or during the question that's being asked, you are disqualified from answering that question for that round. You have 45 seconds to answer the question. When the question appears, you'll read the question. I'll read the question for you. You'll work it out on by whatever means on a piece of paper. Once you get your answer, you will press an X in the chat. I will call your name, and you will answer the question. If you answer the question correctly, you earn a point, and the next question will appear. If you answer the question wrong, the other person will have the remaining of the 45 seconds to answer the question. And with that, we are ready to begin the first round of this countdown round. And your first question is, if A pound B equals, oh, Kevin.
1,
2.
Time.
1, 8.
Time. Stay unmuted, Kevin. Brian?
1808.
1808 is correct. And Brian earns his first point. We will move on with your next question. And your next question is, in Nathaniel's school of 1,200 students, 87% of his school like Buston Jeeber and 68% like Madame Lala. If 65% of his school likes both Buston Jeeber and Madame Lala, how, Brian?
192.
192 is incorrect, Kevin.
144.
144 is also incorrect. The correct answer is 120. We will move on to a new question, and that question is, Nigel walks forward 6 miles, turns 150 degrees to his left, and then walks forward another 6 miles. Complete the square of the number of miles he is away from his starting location. Express your answer in simplest radical form. Brian.
72 minus 36 root 3.
72 minus 36 root 3 is correct. And Brian, you move on to the next round. All right, can we please have David Zhang and Timothy Wei please raise your blue hand? All right, and so we will begin this round with your first question. And your first question is, simplify 365 cubed over 73 cubed. David.
125.
125 is correct. And David earns his first point. We'll move on with your next question. And your next question is, what is the largest prime factor of 8,099? David.
41.
41 is incorrect. You have 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Timothy.
89.
89 is correct. And Timothy earns his ties things up 1-1. All right. We'll move on. The next question is, what is the smallest possible real value of 2x squared minus 21x? Express your answer as a common fraction. David.
441 over 8.
441 over 8 is incorrect. Timothy.
Negative 441 over 8.
Negative 441 over 8 is correct. And Timothy, you move on to the next round. All right. Can we please bring up Gore Fee and Brianna Zhang? Please raise your blue hand. We will begin with your first question. And your first question is, What is the area of an equilateral triangle with side length 4 times 3 to the power of 7 over 4? Gore.
324.
324 is correct. And Gore earns his first point. We will move on with your next question. And your next question is, a rectangular box has a volume of 4 gallons. If all of its dimensions are quintupled, then what is the Gore?
500.
500 is correct. And Gore moves on to the next round. Can we please have Rohan Das and Harry Ruihan Jang please raise your blue hand? We will begin with your first question. And your first question is, convert 2,361 base 7 to base 10. Rohan.
876.
876 is correct. And Rohan earns his first point. We will move on to your next question. And your next question is, Marilyn is carrying a 12-gallon bucket of milk to her house from the barn, which is 3 miles away from her house. However, the bucket has a leak in it. After each mile she walks, there is 3/4 as much milk in the Rohan.
81 over 16.
81 over 16 is correct. And Rohan moves to the next round. Can we please have Skylar Mao and Alan Liu please raise your blue hand? We will begin with your first question. And your first question is, evaluate 784 over 28 plus 841 over 29 plus Alan.
87.
87 is correct. And Alan earns his first point. We will move on to your next question. And your next question is, simplify 7 plus square. Oh, Skylar.
43.
43 is correct. And Skylar ties things up 1-1. We will move on with your next question. And your next question is, how many digits are in the number 25 to the 21 times 2 to the 50th? Alan.
50.
50 is incorrect. Skylar.
23.
23 is also incorrect. The correct answer is 45. Whoever answers the next question will move on to the next round. Next question correctly will move on to the next round. And that question is, Adam and Bob select positive integers A, B, less than or equal to 5 at random. A and B are not necessarily distinct. Charles then chooses one of the 4 basic arithmetic operators, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division at random. And David performs the calculation A enter operator B. What is the probability that David's result is non-negative? Express your answer as a common fraction. Five seconds, Skylar.
9/10.
9/10 is correct. And Skylar, you move on to the next round. Can we please have Ishani Agarwal and Gordon Chen please raise your blue hand? We will begin with your first question. And your first question is, points A, B, C, D lie on a line in that order. If AC equals 29, BD equals 52, Ishani.
21.
21 is incorrect. If AC equals 29, BD equals 52, and AD equals 61, what is BC?
Uh, 20.
You forgot to press an X in the
20.
chat. But 20 is the correct answer. All right, so Gordon, you do earn the point for answering it correctly. The answer was 20. All right, We will move on with your next question. And your next question is, how many ways are there to rearrange 6 books lined up in a row if 2 of them, Ishani?
360.
360 is correct. And Ishani ties things up 1-1. All right, we'll move on with your next question. And your next question is, if the width of a rectangle is 1 foot less than 4 times its length and its perimeter is 58 feet, what is the area of the rectangle? Ishani?
138.
138 is correct. And Ishani, you move on to the next round. Can we please have Andy Liu and Atithan Elamaran to please raise your blue hand? We will move on with your first question. And your first question is, if the median and mean of a set of 6 distinct positive integers are both 120, what is the largest possible value for the largest integer in the set? Atithan?
358.
358 is incorrect. You have 5 seconds. Andy?
356.
356 is incorrect. The correct answer is 355. We will move on to a new question. And that question is, the product of 3 prime numbers is 4042. What is their sum? Atithan?
92.
92 is correct. And Atithan earns his first point. We will move on with your next question. And your next question is, how many positive integer divisors does 204? Andy?
8.
8 is correct. And Andy ties things up 1-1. Whoever answers the next question correctly will move on to the next round. And that question is, compute the sum of the roots of Atithan.
-12.
-12 is incorrect. Andy?
0.
0 is correct. And Andy moves on to the next round. Last but not least, in the round 16, can we please have Dylan Frock and Sohail Rathi? Please raise your blue hand. With that, we will begin with your first question. And your first question is, what is the quotient? Sohail?
256.
256 is correct. And Sohail earns his first point. We'll move on with your next question. And your next question is, how many of the numbers 1 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial, 4 factorial? Sohail?
10.
10 is correct. And Sohail, you move on to the next round. And now we start the semifinal. Can we please bring back Brian Sway and Timothy Wei? Please raise your blue hand again. And with that, we'll jump right in with your first question. And your first question is, what is the sum of the first 140 positive integers? Timothy?
8470.
8470 is incorrect. Brian?
9870.
9870 is correct. And Brian earns his first point. We will move on to your next question. And your next question is, how many positive integers less than 60 are not relatively prime to 60? Brian?
44.
44 is incorrect.
We'll just give 5 seconds now.
Timothy?
43.
43 is correct. And Timothy Wei ties things up 1-1. All right, we'll move on with your next question. And your next question is, what is the tens digit of 31 to the 6th power? Timothy,
8.
8 is correct. And Timothy will move on to the next round. Can we please have Gore, Fee, and Rohan Joss please raise your blue hand? All right, and with that, we will jump right in with your first question. And your first question is, convert 2,132 base 5 to base 3. Gore.
1
Time.
0 1. Wait, what?
Rohan.
101212.
101212 is incorrect. The correct answer is 101211. We will move on to a new question, and that question is, okay, well, wait for a little bit. Okay, Carl and Hassan are running along the same path, starting from the same point. Carl, Rohan. Time. Carl and Hassan are running along the same path, starting from the same point. Carl runs at 20 kilometers per hour and Hassan runs at 15 kilometers per hour. If Hassan has a 450-meter head start, how many minutes must Carl run before catching up to Hassan? Express your answer as a common fraction. Gore.
162 divided by 25.
162 over 25 is incorrect, and the correct answer is 27 over 5. We will move on to a new question, and that question is, how many 4-digit Rohan?
10.
10 is correct. And as that was 3 questions, Rohan, you move on to the next round. Can we please bring back Skylar Mao and Ishani Agarwal? Please raise your blue hand. And with that, we will jump right in with your first question. And your first question is, a rectangular prism has faces with areas 15 to Ishani.
105.
105 is correct. And Ishani earns her first point. We will move on with your next question. And your next question is, expressed in simplest form, 0.888 ... plus 2.111 ... Ishani.
3.
3 is correct. And Ishani, you move on to the next round. Can you please bring back Andy Liu and Sohail Rathi? Please raise your blue hand. Sorry about that, Sohail. All right, and with that, we will begin with your first question. And your first question is, compute the remainder when 55,555 base 7 is divided by 12. Andy.
0.
0 is incorrect. Five seconds. Sohail.
3.
3 is also incorrect. The correct answer is 1. We will move on to a new question, and that question is, 2 positive integers have Sohail.
156.
156 is correct. Sohail earns his first point. We will move on to your next question, and your next question is, If the volume of a sphere is 1/3 of the surface, Sohail,
4/3.
4/3 is incorrect. If the volume of a sphere is 1/3 of the surface area of the sphere, what is the radius of the sphere? Andy,
1.
1 is correct. And Andy ties things up 1-1. The next person to answer the next question correctly will move on to the next round. And that question is, on Monday, a teacher finds out that she can seat all of the students in 4 equal rows with everyone present. The next day, one student is absent and the teacher is able to seat the students in 9 equal. Sohail,
28.
28 is correct. And Sohail, you move on to the next round. All right, and we are in the semifinals. And can we please bring back Timothy Wei and Rohan Das? All right, and with that, we will jump right in with your first question. And your first question is, how many lattice points does Rohan?
12.
12 is correct. And Rohan earns his first point. We will move on with your next question. And your next question is, pentagon ABCDE has angle A equals angle B equals angle C equals angle D equals 120 degrees and angle E equals 60 degrees. If AB equals BC equals CD equals 12, what is the perimeter of pentagon ABCDE? Timothy,
84.
84 is correct. And Timothy ties things up 1-1. We'll move on with your next question. And your next question is, how many pairs of primes have a sum? Rohan,
0.
0 is correct. And Rohan, you move on to the final round. And can we please bring back Ishani Agarwal and Sohail Rati? Please raise your blue hand again. With that, we will jump right in with your first question. And your first question is, if 3x squared minus Sohail,
16/3.
16/3 is correct. Sohail earns his first point. We will move on with your next question. And your next question is, what is the value of quantity square root of 3 plus square root of 147 times quantity square root of 48 plus square root of 12? Sohail,
144.
144 is correct. And Sohail, you move on to the final round. Sohail, you can stay there. Can we please bring back Rohan Das? Awesome, please unmute yourselves, and both of you stay unmuted. All right, the rules have changed for the final round. Everything stays the same except for scoring. You must answer, instead of best of 3, you will answer exactly 3 questions correctly for one of you to be crowned today's Matthew.org Northern California Middle School State Championship countdown round winner. And so with that, we will begin with your first question of the final round. And that question is, how many positive factors does Rohan?
24.
24 is incorrect. Sohail,
48.
48 is correct. And Sohail earns his first point. We will move on with your next question. And your next question is, a triangle is inscribed in a circle with Sohail.
So 16.
16 is incorrect. So Rohan. Time. The correct answer is 48 square root of 3. We will move on to a new question. Ryan, mark X. Both of them got it wrong. All right. Awesome. We'll move on to a new question. And that question is, two of the angles in Rohan.
96.
96 is correct. And Rohan ties things up 1-1. We will move on with your next question. And your next question is, the gravitational potential energy of an object with mass m located at height h off the ground is mgh, where g is 10 meters per second squared. What is the gravitational potential energy of a baseball weighing 120 grams located 50 meters off the ground? Express your answer in joules, where 1 joule equals 1 kilogram times meter squared per second squared. Sohail,
60.
60 is correct. And Sohail leads 2-1. We will move on with your next question, and your next question is, find the Sohail,
13,986.
13,986 is incorrect. Rohan,
13991.
13991 is correct. And Rohan ties things up 2-2. The next person who answers the next question correctly will be crowned the countdown round champion. And that question is, Mary Jane writes the positive, Rohan. Time,
20.
Sohail,
342.
342 is correct. And Sohail, you are crowned today's Mathlete.org Northern California Middle School State Championship countdown round winner. And congratulations, Sohail, and congratulations to everyone else in the top 16 who competed in today's countdown round. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. This is Tim. Hope you're enjoying our videos. If so, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that sort of thing. But what I'd really want to invite you to do is to send us an email at media@mathleague.org. Tell us which problems you'd like to see us cover next in our video series. Take care and see you in the next video.